presentation about using secure communication with OS2. It will be 3 different parts. It will be a part about using a secure Hobbit source. It will be a part about using STunnel. And there will be a short part about using Thunderbird and the nickname. And mostly you will see a part of PML also. I started with it because I wanted to access my own mail server. And because I'm on a lot of different places, that's always the problem. I want to connect to my mail server and I don't want to use Gmail or another mail server which you can use. I want to use my own mail server account with my own mail account and using my own PML on my laptop. So all the mail is always on my laptop. That's what I wanted. The easiest part would be to open port 110 for the POP connection, and then it would always be open. But then it's only secured with the username and the password. So I thought about it, no, that's not what I want. And if possible, I wanted to access my whole server at home. And so I saw 2 options, using SSH or using STunnel. STunnel seems to be less work, but after reading the files and reading the documentation, I thought about it, it's too complicated. So I started with this one. It's not too complicated to make it work. On the sheet you see all the files you need. I have listed all of them, and mostly you won't need all of them. You need a SSH package to install, and before you can actually install the SSH package, you need the security to user interface to install. And you only install this to use to install users for your desktop. That's quite simple, and SSH is also quite simple. Further, you need one of these tools, PNP pipe or VO pipe. And I use VO because it's quite simple. PNP pipe also works with build guide. This goes always. That's easy. It's a simple click and install package, and then it should install all the things you need. The second you have to do is to create a user key. I did almost all. The user key is stored in a default directory. You can say you want to install it in a different one, but usually it installs in this directory. So it took a little time to find out where it is stored, but as it's stored. The same file you create actually 2 files. One is a private key, the one is a public key, and the public key has to go to the server at the S-home directory of the SSH server. You need this directory, you need a directory with the login name. So my login name is Peter, so I have here at my server chome and my /Peter. And at that directory there's this file, IDSR public, but that has to be renamed to the key authorized keys. That's the first thing you have to do. Then another thing, make a server key. The server key also has 2 files, a public key and a private key. The private key has to be stored securely. After installing the keys and installing all the files you need to create a user, and the user can be created with this command. And this is actually the only thing you need from SSH each package you need. You can switch what you can do if you log into your home server with passwords, if you can see all the directories, or if you can delete files, that you can install the password if you want. You have also the VO to start with. Is it mandatory to do all these things I put on the sheet? If you really want to keep it very simple, you don't have to do it. You can install the SSH package, create a user, create a password, and then it should work. But then you only have your username and your password, what's secure on your server. And if you use server key and a user key, it's more secure and it's not that hard to get it working. So that's what I did. It's not too complicated. There are a couple of things I changed in the config of the SSH daemon. I want to get authentication with my public key, so I change that to yes. I don't know where I am actually, so I changed host-based authentication to no. You can say I only want to have access from certain host systems, but I don't know which system or where I am and what IP address I got. Password authentication I got defaulted to no, permanent and password no. So that are the most things you need. As a good INF file, if you install SSH, you can read about it. There's only one little problem I got, and that is with the SFTP server. That isn't really good documented in the SSH package. And the only way to get it working was to supply the full path to the server. Without porting to the full path, it wouldn't start and it wouldn't get a secure FTP connection. Then there's another thing I needed to change the port in the SSH client configuration, because I put the server on different SSH. At first installation I didn't do that, left it at the default port, but after 2 days I couldn't log in anymore. There were too many people trying to get in, with phony names, phony passwords, and after 300 logins, SSH says it's enough, I quit working and I stopped. So I had to restart my server at home. So I changed the port, and now it's all quiet. You can find it, but nobody tries to do it, so that's easy. In the package, you get, if you install the DPI package, you get a few icons. You get an icon for the server, you get an icon for the daemon, you get icons for the configuration files, and you get icons for the help file. But there are a few file configurations left. Because I first started with SSH as a connection to my mail server, I wanted a little icon which I could click on to start the connection to the mail server. So I made a little script, attached an icon to it, so that's all I needed. That's one. There's another one. If you want to use a VNC client to get access to the VM shell of your server, you also need this one. There's one problem you have with connecting to a VNA server. is that you have to change the loopback for VNC. Normally VNC doesn't allow to use the loopback address, so you have to change that. If you have changed this, you can use the loopback address to connect to the SSH socket, and then you can get to your server.
Why would you use SSH to tunnel VNC? Because that's encrypted anyway, isn't it?
It isn't quick, but sometimes I have a VM program I want to access.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why do you need to tunnel it over SSH? My understanding is that VNC is encrypted anyway.
Yeah, you can. I think you can. That's the only problem. I'm not an expert. I'm just
Neither am I.
Blind leading the blind.
but you can do it.
Yeah, I've done it.
It's not quick, but it works. Sometimes. Not today. If I'm backing up, I can give you a little demonstration. The normal plan would be to connect to my home server, but I have two problems. I can't get a normal wireless connection at my laptop. And the second problem is the wired cable doesn't do lookup. So I can't look up my IP address. So I made a little demonstration. This laptop, there's another one. I hope it works. Yo.
You want to try using this wireless router, wireless access point?
I have one.
Oh, and it doesn't work for you there?
Yeah, it works, but I can't have a connection.
I've got a connection working on this one with my laptop, so it should be pre-configured already. See if you have any better luck with that. I'll do that.
I did run into troubles when switching between laptops using that wireless connector.
Yeah.
It seems to look at something a little bit more than just a MAC address.
Really?
Yeah. But other things can happen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It seems to be yeah.
That's good.
Not yet.
He's missing the other line. Yeah.
Presumably the wireless come through the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones? Oh. Probably messaging.
Don't let me forget to get that battery in somewhere.
It's very kind of you to denote that.
What's that?
It's very kind of you to donate that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you put a plug for my website on, so
as you can now, I hope, and you believe me, but it isn't my laptop. It's not actually my server running at home, and I can't access it. And if I want, it's not that nice to see, but
Then I can try.
think there's no new mail, but there's no new mail at the moment, but it's running fine, and you can access the files if you want. The only problem I had is I can copy the files on the server, but I wanted also to copy the files from my laptop to the server or from the server to the laptop. And you can do that with a secure FTP server, but I didn't like it. It's difficult. I have to remember all the things to get a file, to put a file on the server. And we have a look at it. Don't know. It's somewhere. What you can do is, if you have NetDrive and you are willing to pay a small amount, you can buy a plugin, and this plugin uses NetDrive to make a secure FTP connection. And put 2 connections in, and as you can see, if you want, actually, let's do it. And you can see the root of the server at home, and you can copy the files if you want. That works. It's not that fast, but that works. And that's the easiest way to do it. There are 2 bugs in the NetDrive plugin. The first one is if you use a different port, you can't re-put the port that you use for your SSH server in the package. Because if you start the control panel and say I want to edit it, it's real nice, but I don't have a port number to install. It says from which server do you need, which username do you have, do you have a passphrase or password, I didn't fill it in, what's the remote directory and what key do you use. And there's no way to enter a port number. You actually can. And it's the only solution which works, is to put the port number so. Put a semicolon, put the port number in, and then it works.
Yeah.
That's nice, but as soon as I close this window, start it again, it's gone. It's a little bug. There is another one. And that is, normally I use the subdirectory modem to get to the home directory of the server. And there are actually 2 drives, and the other one is F. And I want to connect to the whole F drive, and that's the problem. I can't do that. If I do it, I see the whole directory structure, but you can't read the files, you can't put files into it. You only see the directory structure. So you have to choose, if you have 2 drives, you have to choose a subdirectory, which I did. There it is. That's the only way to get it working. If I put here only F, I can see home drive, but I can't do anything with it. Can't access file, can't put files on it. But normally, it works good.
Is that a problem of NetDrive or something else?
I'm not sure. I mailed the author of the plugin, and it is under an investigation, but it takes a while. Don't know if he can't find it.
Yeah.
He's still looking at it. But it's not nice if you're working with it. Just about icons, that are the ones I added these two. And the other icons are from the VPI package, which automatically install all the icons. Questions about this? It's worked, but I had one problem. I had to do this to actually get to the mail server. That he's complaining that STunnel isn't working at the moment, and that's because I use the normal ports with the SSH package now. So the normal SMTP port is in use with SSH, and STunnel is now complaining I can't run my normal ports. So at PRMail I have the two options at the moment running. I have the SSH port, and I have a secure tunnel option. That's the message I get. And if you want, you can now use mail. This SSH package. That was the first option. It worked, but it wasn't too nice, so every time started SSH. If you want, you can log all the connections you have, or all the connections people try to do to take to your server if you start syslogin, and then you can see all the connections you make, or all the connections other people try to make to your server. So you get a real nice log file. The log file is directly. PRMail has a standard feature to use STunnel. In PRMail it's good documented, but to get it working it's not that easy. I didn't find it easy at all. The first thing I needed was to create my own certificate for my server, and I needed a certificate for my client. So I had to download the OpenSSL package to make the certificates and to install them to the server and to the client. That wasn't too hard. Unzip all the things, put the two directories to the config file for the path and the lib path, and then it should work. There is also a Perl script which helps you to create the certificates, but I couldn't get it to work. It complained a lot, but then it stopped, so I had to do it by hand. The easy part is you need a few subdirectories to create the certificate requests, and these are the path, all the directories you need. You need one for the private keys, one for the certificate, one for the certificate which is readable, I revocation directly if you say my certificate isn't valid any longer, and you can make a special revocation list and also a revocation certificate. Then you need two files, and this took a long day to find out. I need an index.txt one, that's easy, but it has to be empty, and that's difficult, because if I use copycon and leave it empty, it doesn't copy anything, it doesn't create a file. If I put a 0 in it, or if I put a 1 in it, OpenSSL complained, there is something in the file, I don't want it. So, just one space, and he was happy. I created a serial, and that's for numbering the certificates, and I started at number 1. That wasn't too hard. You have a lot of things to type in, and I typed it all in, so I have a backup for myself if I ever want to find out it again. The third thing I needed, and I wanted to have, is I don't want to only have a server certificate and a client certificate. I also want a certificate for a signing authority. So my certificate for my server and for my client is signed by myself. And that's the nice thing I have. So I first made the certifying authority, and that is certificate for. It's valid a very long days, and there are a few things you have to change in the OpenSSL config before you can really make the authority certificate. Next, you can create the request for making the server certificate. That's for us. And after you have done that, you can say, I am going to sign it. And I have the easiest part I put in, I want to sign everything I have. Because I only have one certificate at the moment. Everything I have, I want to sign. Then you also have your service certificate, and you can put your service certificate and your CA certificate together in one file, and then you have a server key certificate. Then you have, if you all goes well, you have an authority certificate, you have a service certificate, and then you need a client certificate, because the client has also to do the authentication. It's exactly the same as making a service certificate. So it's all the steps again, not making the signing authority that you don't need, but only the server and the client are the same. What goes? If everything goes all right, you have the signing authority certificate, the server key, the key and the server certificate in one, the client, and this is the client key, the private key, and the public one, the client certificate, the client key, and that are all the files you have at the moment, if all goes well. There is a good web page. I documented it on the sheet. It's almost the same as I have here. That's a good one. If you want to read it again, then you can look at that side. All the certificates are made, so I only have to install a STunnel. A STunnel at PML at the client is already installed with PML, so I only have to install a STunnel at the server. You can download it, snappy.info, unzip it, to a directory if you want. Put the server certificate and the key in the directory of STunnel. Change a few things in the STunnel configuration. These are the files I need for my server. I want to verify the certificates I have and I get from my client. If I put it to 0, everyone who connects to my server can get access to my server. So I put it at a high level. The server authority file is in this directory, and the file itself is called myce. I put the debug at a high range. You can leave it at 5, that's too normal. But I wanted to see if it worked, so I put in 7. Then you can say what connections do I accept with STunnel. So I choose to accept everything I have. So I have POP, I have SMTP, I have HTTPS, everything there is I can connect to. Then the files you have to copy to the STunnel directory and the server and the signing authority certificate and the key and the server certificate in one the PEM file. It took me a while to figure it out, but I also need the public part of my client certificate in my CA file, because otherwise it wouldn't work. And I couldn't get a connection. Then you can start STunnel with the option STunnel space stunnel.conf, and then it works. Then you have to do a few things in PML. First you have to put in the server the signing authority certificate in the PML directory or in another one if you want. And you have to have your client certificate and key in one file in the PEM file. There's one thing I don't know why it won't work, but if I choose the option 3, it won't work. If I choose 2, it works. Don't ask me, I'm not a PC programmer, I'm just a normal hobbyist. But that's the only thing I don't understand at the moment. What can you do? You can make a very easy connection. If you connect. Show you. And now it fetches. If you want to play with STunnel, you can make also a secure connection to your own website if you want. That's a little layout you can make. Firefox and Mozilla use a few certifying authorities for the certificates they get and they see. Because I have my own signing certificate, my own signing authority, Firefox complains. It says, this is a certificate from someone I don't know, I don't trust, do you want? And I have a secure connection to the web browser I have. It's a very simple web browser. It's a very simple web server. It's Web 2. And Web 2 doesn't offer secure connection. But using a tunnel between Web 2 and Firefox, I get a secure connection. If you want a secure connection to your own web server, you can use a tunnel to create this. Can you use Thunderbird and STunnel? Yes, you can. But there are a few different things about it and PML. Let's just show you before. If you want to use PML and STunnel, it's quite easy. You go to the normal settings for the secure transfer. You can say what server port you need, what server you have, what protocol you have. If you want, you can put in the server authority here of your file, but you can also state the signing authority here. That's only one time you have. You don't have to put it in the POP3 and the SMTP. You put it in the first page, it's enough. And that's all you have to do to create a secure connection with PML. At the accounts level, you don't have to do anything. It's all you have to do. That's easy. Thunderbird isn't that nice. Thunderbird needs a different style of certificate. So you have to convert the client certificate you had to a different file type, and that's P12. You can change with the OpenSSL package. I put it in, and that's all you have to do. Then you can use Thunderbird as for your secure connections to your mail server. I don't use it that often, so I have to look at it. It's not bad. Starting. That's the wrong one. I'm out of that.
Great.
And then you see I have my client certificate loaded into Thunderbird to create a connection. If I don't have this in my certificates, you can't get a connection to the mail server. Because I have in STunnel the option I want to verify at level 3, so I have to have a client certificate of the client. If I don't have this, I can't get a connection. And that should normally be enough to get Thunderbird working. It's not that spectacular. The only thing you now have is you have a secure connection to your mail server from your laptop or from your own PC if you want. If everything now secure, no, all the mail you send isn't secure. It's only secure on the way to my mail server and then not anymore. I need to install an encryption package, and you can use GNU-PP or OpenPGP, the packages you can use to secure your mail. I listed the directories to get the GNU PG package, and for Thunderbird you can use initmail to install that. And if you install initmail, you can use GNU-PG at a very easy level. And you can see it. I made one mistake. I installed an OpenPGP package, or the GNU-PG package, also called, and I installed it, and it asked me what passphrase do you use to use your keys, and I didn't remember it at the moment.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. So now he says you have an encrypted message because you don't have your passphrase right, so that's all I see. That is all everybody else sees. And that is even a nice message. You can't make anything out of it. If I put in the key for my PGP package, I can normally see the message I have. I was too lazy to remember it today. You can use it in Thunderbird, it's easy, there is even a set of versions you can use to install it, to create the keys, to create it for different mail addresses you have. You can collect keys, you can encrypt messages, and you can even use it if you want. If you say, I want to use PML, you can also use PGP package with PML. Then you can put your keys for PML. PML is a little bit easier because PML asks for the passphrase, and I've put it in, and I don't have to put it in every time. That's the way I use it. That's also not the most secure way to use it, but it's easy to use it. That's the way I use my passphrase at the moment. There's one difference between PML and Thunderbird. You can sign and you can encrypt messages in PML. But you can't encrypt messages if you have an attachment. You can only encrypt the message itself, but not the attachment. The email complains about that.
Sorry, can you say that again?
You can encrypt the message, but not the attachment.
First time I heard of that.
It doesn't.
Interesting. We should open a ticket.
No. It's stated in the help file of the email.
Oh, is it?
No restriction.
Ah, okay. Feature request.
Feature.
And that's the only difference between Thunderbird. And Thunderbird states it can do it and it doesn't. But that's a difficult part because Thunderbird and one or two other email packages can encrypt your attachment and all other can't. So you have to be very precise for, do I encrypt an attachment or don't I? You should look at. Do you have questions? Started a bit late, but
Sorry, I don't understand this correctly. Does Gmail only sign the message or encrypt it?
no, you can, with Piano, you can sign it and you can encrypt the message. But if you have a message with an attachment, you can only encrypt the message, but not the attachment.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So you have seen that? So the only thing I have left is to thank you for your attention. If you have questions, let me know. Have a blessed day.